So it's been 2 weeks since New Year's, and shit really hasn't been all that different. Like I said in my previous video, and niggas want to come out here claiming it's a new year, it's a new me, but I think that's bullshit, and you should really start evaluating your damn self. But I took a fucking break because I wanted to come up with more content. Now I can make a video on really anything, but I should at least make some shit that niggas could take in and actually apply themselves in their life. Like with this video, you know, talking about community college and my experience. Now, as long as I've been in school for like, I think 18 plus years at this point, never have I ever experienced this type of learning in my entire life. Community college. Now, I was always the type of person that I wanted to go to a university. I never wanted to stay home and go to the nearest college within 10 minutes from my house. I wanted this expensive dorm room with possibly the nicest kitchen with a decent bedroom and a nice living room. Not dorm, but just college housing in general. You know, that's what I thought a university would be like. But, you know, when you really don't got money and you're trying to save up for other things, that's when you gotta stay home and you gotta save some money. But with me, it's been about 3 years since I've been in college, and I don't have shit in my bank account. Right now, it's at $3, nigga, with a negative fucking balance of 153 and 17 cents. So it don't really matter where you go if you go to college. My best bet, if I was somebody that dropped out, I would just work. Because what's the point of going to college? You know, I think my parents, they had this thing where they told us, like my generation basically, you know, if you don't go to college, you ain't shit. And, you know, ever since I was a kid, they've been telling me that shit. And I gotta say, when you grow out of that mentality of you have to listen to your parents, you start to realize a few things. Like, number one, the things that they say doesn't apply to real life. And number two, you're your own person. You can make your own damn decisions. Like with college, even if I were to get this degree, and I'm going for my AA degree, it doesn't mean I'm gonna get a job right away. You know, it's gonna take some time. And sure, there are jobs that AA degree graduates could get, but it's not a lot even. And my whole thing with my college is, it seems like I've been going there for like 3 years, but by how long I've been taking my classes and how many classes I've taken, I've only been there, from what they told me, was 1 year. And I'm now just starting to get in my fucking generals after being there for 2 years. Because niggas like me are academically and in the school system not up there when it comes to IQ level And when it comes to like test scores, grade point averages, and all of that shit, like, you know, but in my opinion, I feel like I'm not gonna say I'm better than community college, but I I like being in places where it's a bigger environment and the classes have more, or I should say the classes have more, or the school has more options for classes. Like where I'm at currently, we don't have a lot of fucking options for classes. We just have the basic like degrees, and that's basically it. You know, any other type of classes that you have in mind that's very specific, we don't really have that shit because we're just a 2 year college. We're not a university, and it's come to a point now where I just have to leave. Like, I'm not sure I could take being here for another 2 years. You know, after basically what I've did for the past 2 years, really hasn't been shit apparently because they were just qualifying classes, and those qualifying classes, I'm now starting to get where I was supposed to be 2 years ago. But since I kept on failing at the acuplacer test, that held me back from everybody else. But as far as the college itself, I really don't think I could be there that much longer. I was gonna take this upcoming semester last week and sign up for a class, but what happened was, so I actually did show up to school last Thursday, and you know, I went in school. I saw some people that I don't know who the hell these niggas are, and I thought to myself, are these freshmen? Because I don't. Nobody really looks like a senior or anything. So I walk all the way down to class, and I knock on the door. Nobody opens that shit. And then I look at the teacher, because if y'all seen those doors in school, you could clearly see you could see inside the classroom. And so the teacher is talking to the students on, I believe, a syllabus or some shit. And you know, I think I knock again, and she still don't fucking hear that shit. And so I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go home. Because why waste my time going to class while the teacher's already teaching anyways. Also, I don't feel like I was even supposed to take this class because this is a required class and I dropped out of it. Which means that if I do go back to school, then I'm gonna have to take either 4 to 5 classes, which is the worst thing anybody can ask for in college, you know. And this is what I don't understand. How the fuck, like, if you're 20 some years old, do you manage working and school at the same damn time? You can't. You gotta put something away so the other thing could be the only option you have. Like, let's say I was, oh no, that won't work. That's a stereotype. let's say I wanted to go to the gym all day and I wanted to read a book. I bought a book from Barnes and Nobles, and it was a really good book from what I heard from critics. And this book was on my it was on my to-do list, and it was something that I wanted to do for the week. But what would I do more? Go to the gym all day or read this book? Now, this is just an example. Obviously, nobody will go to the gym all day, but I would say for a few hours. What would you do? You can't do both. You know, you got to put time for one thing and then do another. You can't multitask. And one thing for sure is if you're in college and you're really into your like major, you're deep in that bitch. What time would you have to work? Like that's something I wonder like when do you have time off to really work? Cuz you're going for this degree, you're going for this major, and you can't do two things at once. You got to focus on only one thing. And unless you work on the weekends, but even then, teachers want you to hand in your assignments on the weekend. And if you don't do that shit on the weekday, you're fucked. And so that's my whole thing with community college. Like, sure, it's not bad, but I felt like I need to go somewhere else because I just need a new college experience. You know, it hasn't really been the best, and maybe it's not supposed to be, but you as an adult, or I should say me as an adult, I do have the option to go relocate and go transfer to another school because I don't know anybody there. I haven't made friends. I don't really know any of the teachers, so it's basically like if I left, really, what shit does it matter to anybody? Like, and so that's where I'm at right now, currently. But yeah, man, give me your thoughts and your opinions. If you agree or if you disagree, you know, you're free for your own opinion. You know, but I think I'm gonna go back to my regularly scheduled YouTube schedule, and I'm gonna drop a few vids, maybe like twice a week now, because I don't like oversaturation, and sure my content stays pretty consistent, but I'm gonna still keep it consistent, but I might add more variety to my shit. You know, like, but with that, man, it's your boy E.B.N. signing out. Oh, a happy late ass New Year.